on lies and deceit. Zimbabwe is being built on propaganda. And if you build a country on propaganda, if you build a country on lies, it's like a house built on sand. Read the Bible very well. The Bible is clear. It says that you have to build your house on a solid foundation, on a rock, so that it survives. The reason why ZANU PF is falling is because they tried to build the economy of Zimbabwe on sand, and it's not working. They tried to build the economy of Zimbabwe on lies, on cohesion, on propaganda, and it's not working. And I'm going to explain. My neighbor buys a television set. For a few days, we are invited to go and watch football matches from his house. But as time goes on, the wife of that neighbor will feel tired. The children of my neighbor will feel shortchanged and will be chased away. Definitely, we will be chased away. That is what is happening in Zimbabwe. We are celebrating the success of other people. The people who are not us, our neighbors, we are celebrating their success. But do we have success on our own? No. At the end of the day, are we able to have our kids wake up at any time and go and watch TV? No. Are we able to go and fetch water from our own bowls or wells or taps? No. Are we able to do things on our own? No. Just imagine your neighbor. It does have a car. And you want to travel. You go to your neighbor and say, can you please borrow me a car? And he says, sorry, I need to travel. What are you going to do? You are going to walk. Why? It's because you don't have yours. That is what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. At this moment in time, we are made to believe that there is something tangible for the people. But there is nothing tangible for the people. I live in a village. And from my village, I can tell you this. There is no development whatsoever to talk about, because if you go at the school is in shambles. Go to the water points are in shambles. Go to the roads are not good. They're in shambles. Go to the clinic is 10 kilometers away from my home. Go to whatever you want. Nothing is there for the people. Nothing is there to benefit the people. So at the end of the day, we have to agree that Zimbabwe is being built on lies. Why? If there is development must be felt. Development should be felt. So I should feel development at my home. Right now, I can buy a television. Buy a battery. But I can go to the rural area with that television and fail to connect and fail to see the president speaking or talking. Why? It's because there are no television waves in Zimbabwe which are working. That is a fact. So if you don't have television waves, what more do you have as a country when you cannot connect the remotest parts of your country? You cannot connect the rural parts of your country, and you boom that you have development. When your own people cannot watch you on television when you are presenting anything. Today there was Unity Day. The president was live on television today. Rural people failed to see President Mnangagwa addressing. Why? It's because they have televisions, but they don't have television waves to connect to. So what is that? That is not development. Okay, right now we have internet. So you go to the rural area, you will find 2G network there. What does 2G network do? You cannot open Twitter, you cannot open Facebook, you can not open even WhatsApp. It struggles to open WhatsApp because it's the weakest internet. And we have the more advanced gadgets and softwares which are operating on 4G, and we're migrating to 5G. And you tell us that there is the development. Development must be seen, must be felt by people in their own localities. That is the honest truth. Izvezvi tikati President Mnangagwa ngava address Zimbabwe yese nyika yese. Vanhu vese vane ma-TV vese tikati batidzai ma-TV yenyu. The majority of the people with televisions will not be able to connect to President Mnangagwa's address. Independence Day, people are failing to even hear the president talking about during independence, or see the president talking during independence, because there are no television waves. What kind of development is that? So you are building the nation on lies. You are building, you are developing in Borodale, you are developing in on the eastern parts of Harare, and you call that development. That is not development. Development must be felt. Development must be seen. People must not migrate from their own areas. If you go to South Africa, Venda, I was in Venda in South Africa. There is electricity. We worked in Venda some times ago. There was electricity kudzimba kumusha. Ndichitosvika muvenda inini. I was surprised kumana tatosvika ndo kumusha kwacho kunoku in South Africa. There was electricity, tarred road, tapped water. Tichitobva mudzimba dzakadaro tichienda kuminda yemavenda. Zvakandirwadza up to this day. Zvakandirwadza up to this day to say, how can we travel in other countries? How can we migrate to other countries and see goodies when when we have nothing in our own home? When we are talking about these issues, we are not being unpatriotic, but we are demanding these same services to be delivered here in Zimbabwe. Why can't we have electrified rural areas? Why can't we have road-connected rural areas? Why can't we have developed areas? It's because Zimbabwe is being built on lies. Zimbabwe is being built on deceit. That is the honest truth. And if we don't point these things out, you are going to see that Zimbabwe is going to sink and sink and sink. And in 2023, I doubt that ZANU PF will win anything. I doubt that. Why? It's because the people I have been engaging to, the people I'm meeting each and every day, they are talking the truth. They are saying, we are tired. We cannot continue like this. We are hungry. There are no schools. There is no water. Mombe dziri kudairwa pachibhorani kuti gijim mombe. If you are experiencing that in the urban areas, uchienda kunodhaya mabucket akwe wewe ku Glenview, go to the borehole uchinodhaya chibhorani so, and kudhaira 5 mabucket kuchikurwadza. What about kudhaira mombe 20 dzaunenge uinadzo kana 10 dzaunenge uinadzo, each ichitora 5 mabucket? Just imagine mombe 1 iri kunwa 5 mabucket, and you have 10. And 5 mabucket, that is 100 liters. Half a drum. What about 10? What about 10 cows? What about your goats? What about your chicken? What about other activities you need to do? Panzimbo pako parugara. It means if I'm forced to go to the borehole kuno daira mombe each and every time, I'm using time and ofanange ndichita zvimwe zvinhu to go to the boreholes. There is no development whatsoever. They must stop talking about development. They must come and begin to implement things. We have 210 MPs, 210 constituencies. Then you are told about development which is happening in 2 constituencies or in a few constituencies, less than 10% of the constituencies. What about the rest of the constituencies? What kind of development is that? I wish that our leaders will realize that we really need development. We don't need bootlicking. We don't need to clap hands for people who are doing nothing. Let us just implement development, guys. Honestly speaking, let us register to vote and make sure that we vote for a leader who is going to bring development. Advocate Nozon Chamisa is clear. His budget is going to be centered on the villages, which means we are going to have village development committees. And that village development committee is going to create a village budget. And once it creates a village budget, we combine a ward budget, then we go to the constituency budget. Then each and every MP goes to parliament and presents a budget from his own constituency to say, from my own constituency, from the village. Then when the treasury is now dealing with the budget, they are dealing with the budget vakuvanu. Vanhu vari kuda chiinde zvipi zvisipo. Then they deal with the real issues. Not izvi zvokuti Mtulinxube akagara mumba make nemukadzi wake vanongofunga kutoronga kutoti atatofunga izvezvi zvitulaita zvakati. They don't even know Mambakwedza village iri kudotito uko. They don't even know about it, but they are planning for that village. How are you planning for a village which you don't know? Kuti chi chiriko ne chi chisiko. So you will see that government of Advocate Nelson Chamisa is going to be simple. It is going to be digitalized. Tichirati zama water points. How many water points do we have? How many functional water points do we have? Things equal according to the budget, the extract from our villages. Then when the treasury comes to present a budget, they will present a budget which is based on things villages. So who are you going to vote for? Somebody who is promising for 42 years and somebody who is coming up with a plan, a solid plan on how to deal with the problem, the problems. We know the problems we are facing. We are given a chance to talk about those problems, to present our ideas on how to tackle those problems. So what we are going to do at village level is we listed the problems we are facing. We listed what we believe are the solutions. We list what we want, then we send it forward. So whatever planning which is going to be done by the government, they're going to be informed by, number one, what we need. Number two, the possible solutions we have suggested. Number three, then they'll get advice from the experts, and then they see, with these resources, what can we do? Who implement the issue of devolution, making sure that each and every province is taking care of its own things at local level, at council level, local government level. Then the central governments come to aid and make sure that they fill the gap and they complete everything. But the development is in two phases: local council development, that is through provincial governments. Then the central government comes in to solidify and consolidate everything. Then we have a functional government which is running. We'll make sure that we have equal opportunity or equal access to education. We cannot have doctors coming from urban schools, but we don't have doctors coming from rural schools. At my school, the school which I attended, Form 1 to Form 4, there is only one doctor. In how many years? Since 1980, the school produced only one doctor, and I think 3-4 lawyers. And those lawyers are the people, the doctor attended A-level at a different school. The lawyers also attended A-level at different schools. They had the privileges to move to better schools. What about those who are going to Form 1 to Form 4 and Form 5 to Form 6 at that school? And they will get 8 points. The highest will get 8 points, 9 points. And they will never be admitted at any university for law, for medicine, or what. There are rural schools right now. These rural schools don't have sciences, but they have A-level, they don't have sciences. And you expect the kids in that area to be doctors, you expect them to be pilots, to be engineers, when they are not being taught sciences at A-level. How can they be competing when they are not being taught sciences? It shows that there is deficit in terms of education, and the education is not even. Yet you call that development. When we are talking about all those things, you tell us about patriotism. What is patriotism without schools, which are without equal education? That is nonsense. That is nonsense. Honestly speaking, that is nonsense. We want a government which is prioritizing its own people. You cannot have an MP who is just seated there doing nothing, a councillor seated there doing nothing. That is the honest truth. We need a pro-people government, not a pro-elite government. The resources must be shared from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. We must make sure that each and every community is benefiting from the resources of the country. But who is benefiting? Those who are driving Lamborghinis, those who are buying private jets, those who are affording expensive holidays. They think that us not affording expensive holidays, we are dum-dums. No. It's because the resources are not being spread, are not being distributed equally. So you cannot blame us for your incompetency. You have to develop the nation of Zimbabwe. Enough is enough. You have been taking us for granted for a very long time. We really need development in this country. We don't care who is in charge. We care about development. We don't care who is who. We care about development. Even if President Nelson Chamisa is to come and he doesn't deliver, we will tell him the truth. President Mafoira, We need people who are going to hold the government accountable. People who are going to make sure that there is development in their areas. That is what we need. That is what we are demanding. So this is it in Zimbabwe. I don't know if you are seeing development kumba kwenyu. Development kumba kwenyu munyika hamuna development. Ndafamba mdzimba dzakawanda. Ukapinda mdzimba dzevanhu unonyara uchipinda mdzimba dzevanhu kuti wakomana ndaiti nhamo iri kwangu izvo nekuno iriko. Why? It's because there is no development. It's because the economy itself is in tatters. Development is seen by how people are upgraded themselves. Imima varume ngatitaurane chokwadi. Munhu akatanga kupfeka hembe dzakanaka akuonekera wakudya zvakanaka mega munotanga kutaura kuti munotomubvunza wakushanda kupi shamwari. Development haite kunzi tarira yauya. You see for yourself that this person is developing. There are some people who I attended school with. We went to South Africa together. I came back. I started my own hustles elsewhere. When I got back to my rural area, people began asking, where are you working? Why? They see development on you. Development is seen on people. You begin to see progress on the dressing of the person, on how people are doing. You begin to see progress on them, on how they eat and what they eat. You begin to see progress. You cannot talk of development when you are relying on donations. What kind of development is that? You are still relying on donations, yet you talk about development. A rich man does not rely on donations. That is nonsense. If you see somebody relying on donations, relying on handouts, you have to know that that person is not developed. Yes, Africa is not giving any aid to Europe, is not giving any aid to America. America is giving you aid. Africa is receiving food aid, medical aid, everything we are receiving, even gadgets, even technology, we are receiving everything. How are we developed? What are we doing? Show us what your military is doing, what your military has manufactured. Go to America. They will show you what their military is doing. Go to Zimbabwe. The people will tell you that the military is beating them. The military is intimidating them. The police is beating them. That is the legacy. That is what we have. That is what we know our military about. Why can't you begin to make sure that your military is involved in technology development? Why? Why is it that you are not developing experts in terms of technology, in terms of science, in terms of everything? Why are you depending? Guys, kana wadevelopa ka hauite zvokubarikidzira zvatiri kuona izvi. Hazvitaurwi. Zvinozviita zvega. This is it in Zimbabwe. My name is Ronald Makusha. I'm just angry kuti munhu shwanga uya iri kundibvunza kuti hanzi iwo uneshuwa kuti hausikona development. Ndoionera kupi kuvillage kwangu hakuna. We are not connected we are not connected. There is no TV waves, no internet whatsoever. So toionera kupi development yacho. It's so sad, guys. So sad. Noza zvinonyadzisa vana vedu chaivo vari kumamisha kunoku. Ukatovapa mafoni ako kana ukavapa they can't operate anything. Chavanongoziva kungovhura woenda kumagame nechichi. They can't go beyond that. But if you give my son nini asina kukurira kumusha a phone, unotowana kakutomhanya kuma softwares, kakutonanga developer zvinhu. Handi muri kuzviona. Why? It's because vana vakakura vachizvidzidza, vari kukura vachizvidzidza. What is going to happen to the kids we are not privileged? What is going to happen to them? My son is 6 years. My son can record and edit a video. But some of the kids in the rural areas, they don't have that privilege. They don't have simple things which can be done by anybody. They can't. And you call that development. Development is measured on the success of your people. If your people are not successful, there is no development.